Yes, yes indeed. Super, excellent, fantastic. How truly wonderful. Okay, I know, you're going to need a bit more than that. Well, hello there, Tarky here. As I'm sure you know, and as most of the British public is probably working out, Johnson has gone. I'm a little bit late with this news, but I thought, given that I've dedicated so much of the last 3 years to talking about his terrible premiership and his terrible party, I suppose I ought to make a quick video. It'll come as no surprise that his resignation as an MP matched his resignation as Prime Minister with a speech churlish, small-minded, attempting to deflect blame onto unnamed others, except in this case, of course, he attempted to deflect blame on named others, i.e. the Privileges Committee and its so-called Labour chair, as though they're responsible for finding that, in fact, he had lied to Parliament. This may cause him some further trouble because the Privileges Committee may in fact feel that he is in contempt of Parliament as well now. He had the results handed to him of their inquiry on Thursday, I believe, and it clearly wasn't going to come out well for him. He has basically accused it of being a stitch-up, a whitewash, a vindictive campaign, when it's been anything but. The committee is mostly Conservative MPs. The Labour chair is irrelevant. It was a unanimous verdict, apparently. It seems very likely, as I say, that the verdict of the committee was that a very, very prolonged ban should have been put in place. And therefore that would have meant the potential for a recall by his constituency. Now, of course, Johnson is trying to claim this is all a kangaroo court, but really what he's done is taken the coward's way out. Ultimately, it would be up to Parliament to agree to the proposals of the Privileges Committee as to the penalty to be imposed on him. The recall petition would need to be taken in his Uxbridge constituency, and then ultimately the by-election that he would need to stand in would be able to re-elect him if presumably they feel he's innocent. So there is democracy at work. Johnson doesn't feel this is democratic enough, but as I say, ultimately it's cowardice. He basically didn't feel that he was going to be able to win because, again, assuming the Privilege Committee report was so damning. Good riddance. There's no two ways about it. Good riddance. Unfortunately, the damage is done. The harm he's done to the Conservative Party, you could write off as saying, well, you know what you were buying into, Tories, so perhaps you should have thought a bit more closely about that. The practical reality for the country, of course, is the diminution of our politics. It has made Britain look a far less trustworthy player on the international stage. It has soured our relationship with the EU, which, again, no amount of fiddling little deals can sort out in the short term, no matter what Rishi might try. He probably badly soured our relationship with the United States and its Irish-American president, Joe Biden. There was no way the American Senate and Congress and Joe Biden were going to let the Tories have their wicked way with breaking international law just because they decided they needed the support of the DUP. What they were thinking supporting the Tories, I do not know, to ensure the Northern Ireland deal, part of the trade and cooperation agreement they signed up to, was chucked in the bin. This was not going to happen. Of course, this will currently cause Rishi Sunak problems he could probably rather do without. Johnson, obviously, his resignation will bring about a by-election in Uxbridge, with a strong possibility that Labour could take that. Also, two of his cultists, batshit crazy acolytes, Nadine Dorries and another one whose name escapes me, I might put it below here if I could be bothered to look it up, decided they were going to resign in protest as well. That means 2 more by-elections. Nadine Dorries is possibly the most significant one, since her constituency has been Conservative since the 1930s. So taking that by Labour, or more likely perhaps the Lib Dems, would be a considerable scalp. And again, precious Sunak doesn't really need. They've lost the next election anyway. It just remains to see how much, and if this current business with Johnson's wholly bad-spirited resignation speech and others resigning in his support as well has any weight with the public, it will be that, you know, Johnson was caught bang to rights. Anyway, there we have it. For the moment, he's out of Parliament, and that probably brings about the end of his political career. Never say never, but I can't see him coming back from this. There's certainly no great groundswell of Johnson fervour within the main body of the parliamentary party. Even if his constituency party is adamant that they still support their man, he's lost the country as well. He really has shot himself in the foot here. Except, of course, he hasn't. At the end of the day, he can claim that he was ousted for the rest of his life and go around making thousands, if not millions, on the after-dinner speech circuit to drunk businessmen. But ultimately, Johnson's premiership was an exercise in abject failure. He wanted to be Prime Minister, but he did not have the talent, the ability, or the wit to actually be Prime Minister, if you will. He achieved a goal almost like a tick box on a chart. He wasn't actually able to be Prime Minister. And in doing so, he's probably wrecked the Conservative Party in the short to medium term. And ultimately, he's done significant harm to the UK's international reputation and to our standing as a whole with the world. He can't have gone soon enough. At least he has gone now, but let's see what happens. As I say, almost certainly the Tories have lost the next election. Most people believe that it might be quite close. There are some who are willing to say that no, this time it will be a landslide back to the Labour Party, but who really knows for the moment? Anyway, catch up next time. Chin chin.